Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as I announced last video, Elis saying hi. As I announced last video, I am going to be doing, I'm going to be posting every Tuesday and Thursday on this channel. Well, this last week was just a whirlwind of a week. So forgive me for posting late. I'm going to be posting this weekend to make up for that. And then next week we'll be back on track. But y'all can just expect me to post every Tuesday and Thursday from now on. So today I'm going to be starting on something a little bit new that I've always wanted to do and I'm getting to do now. We're going to start covering the women of the Bible, and we're going to take each woman, I guess, out of the Bible, and we're going to study them and see what happens with them and what we can take from their story. I don't know how long I'll do this, how long the Lord wants me to do this, but I'm going to be doing this, I guess. So we're going to be starting today with Hannah. If you don't know Hannah, Hannah is in the Old Testament. And she is the wife of Elkanah. Okay. It's an Old Testament name. It's Elkanah, if you would like to know. It's an Old Testament name. I'm not going to be able to say some of these names, but she is the wife of him. And her first child is Samuel the prophet. So let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the study. All right, so what happened to Hannah was basically Hannah was a very biblical wife. She was a godly woman. She's basically what we should strive to be as a wife and a woman. There came a point in her marriage where she was ready to have a baby with her husband, but she had infertility issues. So what she did about it, instead of complaining about it and getting mad at her husband and just getting frustrated at the situation, she took the issue to God. And we can see this in 1 Samuel 10:11. And it says, in her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord and weeping bitterly. And she made a vow, saying to the Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me and not forget your servant, but give her a son, and then I will give him to the Lord for all of the days, and no razor will ever be used on his head. So, as she was praying, somebody was watching her, and like always, the devil's got to try to attack her, got to try to attack us whenever we're trying to be faithful in our prayer and obedient, and let me just tell you what happens. So she got a negative response from Eli, the high priest, who accuses her of being drunk, and we can see this in 1 Samuel 12 and 14. So let me read those 12 through 14. As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was praying, her heart, her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was a drunk and said to her, how long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. And as you all know, she responds with an honorable response and says this in 15:17. Not so, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I've been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. And so then Eli responds to her basically. And this is what he says in 17:18. And says, Eli answered, go in peace, may God of Israel grant you what you have been asked for. So Eli responded with that, and then in 18 we see that she takes Eli by his word, and this is what it says. She said, may your servant find favor in your eyes. And then she went away and ate something, and her face was no longer downcast. So basically, she took Eli at his words, even though Eli was basically just blowing her off after he had called her drunk. So she took it as it is. So she was, praising, jumping up, happy, and went on her merry little way. The next day, her prayer got answered. We can see this in 1 Samuel 19 through 20. And it says, early the next morning they arose and worshipped before the Lord. And then they went back to their home at Ramah. Elkanah, her husband, the name I can't say, made to love to his wife, Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant, gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, because I asked the Lord for him. Okay, so basically Hannah had given birth to Samuel, and she kept him all the way up till he leaned off of her, if you know what I mean. And that was up to like 3 years old. And then she gathered some things for a sacrifice and was headed to fulfill her commitment to the Lord. And we're going to go ahead and pick up the scripture at 1 Samuel 25 through 28. And let me go ahead and read that. When the bull had been sacrificed, they brought the boy to Eli, and she said to him, "Pardon me, my lord, as surely as you live, I am the woman who stood here beside you praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child. The Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord, and he will worship the Lord there." So just to basically give y'all a little bit of a summary of this, basically what done had happened was Hannah was a biblical wife, a godly woman. She was ready to have a baby with her husband, but she was infertile. She took the issue to God in prayer, and basically she prayed. The high priest mocked her, but basically said, your prayer will be granted or it will be answered. So she goes back the next day. She has, the thing with her husband. She becomes pregnant. She gives birth to him, enjoys Samuel for a little bit, wean him off of her. And when he was weaned off, she went and did a sacrifice and basically handed him over to the high priest. Not my ideal to hand my son over to Eli the priest and eventually his sons, because they're crazy if you've ever read the Old Testament. Hands him off and says that the Lord will use him, and then that is how we get the prophet Samuel. So we're next going to look at what does Hannah teach us and what can we take from her and her story. So let's go ahead and jump into that part. So the first thing that we can take from her story is we need to trust God without a doubt. Our faith in God will allow him to bless us. As we saw, Hannah trusted the Lord completely. And in that trusting and in having faith in him and that obedience, he was able to bless her with Samuel. So that is the first thing that we could take. The second thing is Hannah showed us how to demonstrate our faith through obedience, even though it might have some personal sacrifices. And I think giving your son up to the evil high priest is a very big personal sacrifice. So basically, we can demonstrate our faith through obedience to the Lord, even if that comes with some sacrifices. And the third thing is we just need to be a faithful, respectful, honorable wife, and making sure we are godly in that sense of our role, and the Lord will be able to bless us through that also. So that is the study on Hannah. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you want me to do another Bible character, make sure you leave it down in the comments below, and I will get to it. I will absolutely get to it because I like it when y'all request some Bible study topics or a video. So make sure you do that in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see. Like I said, I'll be posting this weekend to make up for this week, and then we will be back on track for our Tuesday and Thursday videos. So yeah, I will catch y'all in the next video.